All right, Spacewalker Diary for day 30. It's 30 days since I came up with Spacewalker. And it just so happens that I'm here in Cannes, right, for the film festival. I come every year. Marché du Film. We come to represent our film projects and gauge the interest and see if we can line up potential partners and things like that. So coming here with a fresh idea like Spacewalker, I came with fresh ideas before, like Trenchfoot, but this is the freshest idea I've ever come with. Coming here, starting to talk about it, without actually even having written the script yet. I am writing the script. That's part of the progress that I've made this week. But I've got a full outline, so I'm not worried about the script. It's just work that needs to be sat down and actually done. And it's quite difficult, as you can see, to be working when you're in a place as amazing as this. So this is where I'm staying for the week. Thanks to the guys at RegDeck for putting me up as well. So this week, before I came here, I tried to prepare an image that I could show people that would kind of give an impression for Spacewalker. But because I was on a deadline, it was super tight. I wasn't quite happy with either of the images that I got, but here they are. Did this one first, and the refractions on the eye should be pretty accurate, but it does feel weird, and it's real trouble getting across the idea of the water in a single image. It's quite a difficult concept, I think, to put across. The fact that there's water on his face, and it is because of the surface tension and because of zero gravity. It's not running down his face. It's just pooling around his face in like a bubble, and eventually it will drown him. And that's the conceit of the film. I had to get across in a single CG image, but I gave it a go. Again, I'm posting this stuff unfiltered. There's the successes and the failures, and I don't think it's a failure, but it's not as perfect as it could be. So that's what I've been doing. I also started writing the script, and it's really weird as well to start, and it happens sometimes, but especially during rewrites when I've been working in Unreal Engine, that I will rewrite the script based on what I've done in Unreal Engine. But it's weird. Last week I showed the first shot of the movie, the opening shot, and this week I've written it in the script, which is kind of weird. So that's fun. I'm glad to say that since being here, every time I've spoken to anyone about Spacewalker here, people are getting really excited about the concept and about the way that I'm approaching it and about the way that it's going to be made. The idea that I could potentially, what I'm trying to do is make a movie that looks like it should cost $100 million, like Gravity, and make it on less than 1/100th of that budget. Potentially half that again, even, or maybe even less than that. We need to see. I've been starting to do some budgeting, and I actually made a budgeting tool this week as well, which is interesting, because I needed a way to kind of figure out roughly what this film might cost and actually have that in a presentable format that I can show it to producers. And in my head, it had always been like what I was calling back of the beer mat film budget, which is just like I can just do the lines in my head because it's so simple, but producers want to see something a little bit better. So I actually started working on an app, and it works, called Beer Mat Film Budgeting, where you just kind of like put in a few line items and then populate it with fairly standard stuff. So that's another thing that I'm talking to people about as well. I might start putting that out and make it freely available for people to use, for indie filmmakers who just want to, kicking around an idea and need to kind of have a rough kind of guess at what the budget might turn out to be. There's a lot of line items that are just kind of like, fairly standard stuff, and so this just adds them all to it. So that's what I've been doing. We're busy preparing for a party here tonight, and maybe I'll share some images from that later on. So, as ever, thank you for watching. Thank you for your interest in me and Spacewalker, and I will continue to give you updates from here and then more when I get home.